I'm Deb Rayleigh with the Social Tech team. And guys, today I'm going to show you how to take an email that perhaps you receive from your parent company that has all kinds of great content in it. And I'm going to show you how to really make it your own so that you can send it out through your email marketing channels. And why that's important is because the emails that we get from our home offices, while they have great content and it's great information, if there are clickable links within that email, if they don't direct the traffic to your website, if they just instead direct traffic to a general website, then it makes it difficult for your customer to make purchases for you to get the credit. But if you are sending the email from your email marketing campaign system, then you can put those links that direct traffic directly to your website. So I want to show you how to just take what you've seen, either be inspired by it or replicate it in the MailChimp system. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, so grab a piece of paper, get ready to take some notes and follow along. All right, let's go. Okay, so this is an email that I received from our parent company, and I think you're going to love it because it's just such a clean layout. They've got a logo here, and then you've got this nice, clean, easy to follow along system where it's got an image and just some teaser information. It's not overly wordy, which of course you don't want, but what's wonderful about this is it is not exclusively about our products. It is providing helpful, valuable information to the audience that's receiving it. And that's exactly the type of communication you want to be sending, whether we're talking about email marketing, text marketing, or social media posts. You want to be able to have a healthy amount of value material. So you can even see here they've got a nice balance in that 80% of value, 20% of marketing, because here's all the value through all of these posts. And then here's the 20% at the bottom, which is this marketing sales post, but it's just really directing them to our websites where they can get more information about our product. Now, the problem with a parent company sending this email out to my customers is that if they did click on this information here on the product, to take them to a website, they're not necessarily going to my particular website. They're going to the general website. So if they were to make a purchase, it's not coming through me. It's going through just the company. And I want my audience that's receiving this email, I want them to have maybe a little bit of extra information where I put my own commentary in here. But also, if they were to click any of these links, I want to be sure that the traffic comes back to me. So you don't want to just duplicate this, all the way across the board. You do want to add your own personal touches in here, and this is a great way to be able to do it. But I'm going to show you how to take this type of template and replicate this in the MailChimp system. All right. So let me go ahead and open up MailChimp. Okay, before we get started, I will preface all this by saying if you have not taken the email marketing course, if you have not taken our branding course where we talk about creating a logo and that sort of information, you're going to want to be sure that you dive into those things because you're going to need elements of not only understanding how to create your own logos, but then also some elements of just how to use MailChimp. That's not what we're doing in this training here. So you're going to want to brush up on that in those trainings. So when you're in MailChimp, of course, you're going to come over here to create a campaign. And a campaign, as a reminder, it's an email broadcast that you're sending out to your audience. So we'll click Create Campaign, and it's going to ask you what type of campaign we're going to create, an email campaign. You're going to give it a quick name. So I'm going to call this Test to Customers. And we'll say begin. Okay, it's going to ask you every time you create a campaign, who are you sending it to, which of course you'll select your audience because you've already created your audience. People have already opted in. Who is it coming from? So that would be your email address. What is the subject line? And in our email marketing training, we have a whole training there on writing effective subject lines. And then here's where we're going to be doing all of our work today. It's here in the content. So we're going to select content and we're going to go through designing the email. Now, are you going to have to do this every single time? Absolutely not. We're going to do this the first time and then you'll be able to save this as a template so that you can just go in however often you plan to send emails and refresh the content so that the framework or the structure is already set. So this first one, the first time we do it, we have to set the structure. So there are some templates here that are available, but we're just going to slide on down here. We're going to use one column, but we're not going to use all of the elements in here, and we're going to take some out and put some back in. Okay, so here it pulls up our kind of blank template, so to speak, and you might be looking at that thinking, well, that doesn't look anything like what it initially looked like. And you're right, it doesn't. We're going to build that out. So let's take a quick look back at the original where we have logo, and then we've got these side by side boxes that pop in and out here, and it's a nice pretty blue background. So when it comes to the background color and the colors that you're using, if you have branded colors that you're planning to use, these are the places that you would be, these are the things you would be updating. And again, the branding training module that we have in our lessons, which is the Marketing You lesson, talks all about branding colors. You can find out how to discover the codes and things that you need to figure out those specific colors. But we're not going to go through that right now. I'm just going to show you where you make these changes. So let's go back over here, and here we have our logo. So let's start off with just adding some simple things. So in this case, the logo or the title, I guess, that they use is Rise and Shine. So if you have a logo that you've created, you're going to upload it right here. You can call this Rise and Shine. You can call this, whatever Deb's, news from Deb, or whatever you want to call this. You can just put your logo here. But this is where you're going to upload an image. So here I've uploaded my logo image. You can adjust the size. So you can always come back and edit this. And if you want it to be clickable so that if somebody clicked on it, it went to your website, you'll go right here. You're under content. You've highlighted the logo box, content, link, and this is where you would put your website address. Okay, so be sure to check for that. Now, we're just going to save this for now because we can always come back and change it. The next thing we want to include, you can include a date under here. If you recall, they have a date. That's entirely up to you. It's not necessary at all, but we're just going to skip past that part and we're going to go to these boxes. So let me show you how to include these boxes here. We're going to delete this. Delete that box. And here I'm going to add an image card. Now you might look at this and think, well, I'm going to add image plus text, but no, I'm going to tell you differently. We're going to add an image card. And the reason for that is because when it comes to changing the background color, it's easier to do it the way that we are going to do it with the image card versus the image and text. So just grab this, drag it over wherever you want it to go, and there's the image card. Now, you'll notice it's the image on top and some caption below it. Here's what we're going to make. Here's where we're going to make some adjustments. So first, let's go over to settings, and we have this box highlighted, that image card highlighted. Go over to settings, and right now it says the text position is at the bottom of the image. In this case, we want it to go to the right of the image. So if I change this to the right, okay, there you can see how that's adjusted. The image alignment is to the left. The right text is 2/3. So if you don't want it to be 2/3 and you want it to be half, so it's an even distribution, just like it is here. See how that's an even distribution? We do that. And then, let's see here, let me go back up just a second. Thing we need to change is the background of the text. You see how it's a black box right now? And if you look at the original, it's a white box. So let's jump back over and we go make sure this is highlighted, and we're going to click on style. So style, it says the card, the background is black. We want to change that to white. So now we have a white background. Okay. The image style, there's no background there. And here's where we can change the font. So if you want to change the font style and the color and the size, this right here, you make sure the box is highlighted, go to style, and this is where you make your adjustments. Changed my font type, I've changed my size, I've changed the color. If you want to align this left, right, so on and so forth. So this is just the style of the text part of the box. Now when it comes to the content, you pop right back over here to the content, and this is where you update whatever it is you want it to say. Okay, so I've updated my content. I've got it saying what I want it to say. I'm not sure where this link goes, so we're going to have to double check and see where that link goes. Make sure it's a great source that you feel comfortable with. And then we're going to save this and add our image. Okay, so, and again, with this is just pretty much your basic word editor here. You can highlight things and change the size of the font, the boldness of certain fonts, and that sort of thing. When you're ready to add your link, You'll highlight the word that you want to be the hyperlink, and from there, you'll just tap this to insert your link, okay? So now we want to add the picture. So here's where we say upload. Well, we're not going to upload an image here, rather, okay, because we're going to change this image over here. Otherwise, if you upload an image here, it's going to be included in the text, and that's not what you want. Let me save this before I make a mistake here. And we're going to change the image. Now, I've already saved the image on my computer. So let me find it. Here's the same picture that they had in that original email. So I'm going to upload this, and there is the picture, right? So here I have the picture along with my verbiage. Okay, so when I look at the box, it looks like the picture is a little taller than the verbiage. So I'm going to go back into the image card, go over to settings, and I'm going to uncheck edge to edge, and you can see now it's aligned correctly. All right, so now I'm ready to save it and close it. All right, now I'm going to add another image card. So I'm just going to click and drag, and I'm going to drop it below, right there. And in this case, the image was on the left and the text was on the right. So here again, you see it's image on top, text on the bottom. So I'm going to go over here to the settings, there we go. And I want the text position in this case to go on the left. So you can see how it adjusted. So we're going to do all of these same steps. Left text width, I want that to be half. And image alignment, I want it to go right. I'm going to uncheck, now that we know, edge to edge, okay? And then we're going to go over here to style. I'm going to change the background to white, okay? And let's see, what else was I going to change in here? Yes, my text style. So I want it to be the same as the first text box. So I'm just going to duplicate all of this as I had it before. I had this set for 16. And let me see what my color was that I had saved here. Okay, so I've updated my color, and I'm going to align this to the left. See how it's flush, okay? And then I'm going to update my content on the text. Got my verbiage in there. I'm going to upload my image. Click over here on upload, find my image here. We'll go with this one. It's going to upload. Go. I'm going to add that in. There we go. And you can see it aligns perfectly fine. And we're going to do this for all of those different boxes. So we're just going to grab the image card, drag it over, plop it in. I'll get those in, and then I'll show you how we're going to make sure this goes to your website. Okay, so I've populated my boxes, and here we are on the product. And if I highlight this product box, this Like a Charm stretch bracelet, so I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to update the link. So if I click on the link, you can see it goes to the generalized website. So I'm going to remove that link, and instead I'm going to replace it with my link. So if I grab it from the URL on my website, go back over here, and I'm going to paste it in there. And you can see it's kind of a long link because I'm taking them directly to those particular bracelets. And let me go back here. Here's where you can see there, right here, it has my personalized website. So I'll insert this as the link, and then I'm going to do the same for the charms. I'm going to highlight the charms section here, and I'm going to then grab my link from my business website. So if I go here and I go to charms, there we go. I'm just going to grab the URL, I copy it, and then this is the link I'm going to insert here. So you see it just goes to the generalized website currently. So I'm going to take all of that out, and I'm going to replace it with my link. So now if my customers click on it, they're going to be looking at it on my website, and I'm going to save it. Okay, so I've got all of this almost quite ready, looking good so far. Go back and I look at the original email. You can see they have this prayer request box, which I think is a great value that our home office offers. So I'm going to include this on my email, but prior to that, between these two, I'm going to pop in a box that's going to have my face in it, and it's going to have a little just 2 sentences, maybe 3, of a genuine note from me to make it a little bit more personalized. Okay, so let me pop over there and do that. Okay, so I ended up putting my welcome block up at the very top, so it's the first one they see. It's got my picture and a quick note from them, or excuse me, from me to them. Then it goes through, and you'll want to double check all your links to make sure they go exactly where you think they should go. There's your product at the bottom, and so now I'm going to just do a simple text box, and I'm going to drag that down here for the prayer request. Pulled in the boxed text. Okay, not just the text box, the boxed text box. So let me just show you, it's this one right here, the boxed text, drag and hold. So when we're ready to edit this one, let's go over here to settings, 1 column. That means it's going to be wide from side to side. I'm going to go to style. I'm going to keep this consistent with everything else I have in my email here. Okay, so I've changed it. I've got the color right. I've got the alignment right. Then let me move myself here out of the way. For the background, you're going to want to change it to white. And then you have this border option. So you can have it as a dash, dotted, however you want to do this. I just kept it as a solid line. You can see it's a thin line because the black line here is going to go away when we save this. So it's this blue line that we're looking at. It's pretty thin. So let me increase that. Let's just see how that looks if I say it's going to be 10. So it's a nice bold block, and there's the color. So I've got that, and now I just need to update the content. Guys, the last thing we're going to do is, if you want to change this background to a lighter blue or whatever your branding color is, I'm going to show you where you make these changes. So here we are on our email page. And if we go over here to style, we're not dragging anything in any longer. We're going to click on style, and we're going to click on page. So when you click on page, here is where you change the background. You can see I've changed it from white to this light blue. And if you want to make any other adjustments to this, you can. You can do some universal changes here. And you can even change a couple of things like the pre-header, the header, the body, which is this section that we've been working in, and the footer and things like that. So anyway, you can make some adjustments here in the style section on the main screen. You want all of this area to have this same shade of light blue. That's actually done under the header section. We click on header. If I highlight and change the background here, put in my color that I've been working off of, you'll see it all changes that blue. So then I have that separation between those boxes, just like it did on the original email. Let me make this adjustment up here and we'll be finished. Okay, so I've made it all changed. We can, if you want to remove some of these things or size this a little differently, of course you can make those adjustments. You scroll down, you see all of your different blocks, check all of your links. And then here at the bottom, you want to be sure if you have the social links in here, that those are set up correctly. So you want to be sure that they go, if you have a Twitter handle, if you have Facebook. So you want to be sure that you are putting in your Facebook business page, your website. If you have Twitter, put that in there or change it to Instagram, something like that. Okay, so make sure your social links are in there and that they are updated correctly. Lastly, this information you do need to leave in here because it is one of the requirements so that you don't get flagged as spam. So you want to be sure to leave this information in here, and it also tells them how to unsubscribe from your list. So it looks like we have everything in there and we're ready to send a test email. Okay, so I've saved it and it brings me back to the beginning. If you remember, we still have to put in who we're sending it to, our audience, you're from, your subject line. Right now, I just want to send a test email. So I'm going to send it to myself and we'll see how it looks. So here we are. I probably will go back and adjust some spacing issues right in here, but otherwise I think it looks pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with it. And guys, we are ready to start sending out our emails. So I hope this encourages you to try something different. I'm not saying that you should mimic everything necessarily. Know your audience, know what they would be interested in seeing. But it's nice that you get these emails that have content that has already been curated. So it allows you to find bits and pieces that you love that you can easily incorporate in email campaigns on your own. And it will drive traffic back to your website. Hope this helps. Good luck.